Pilates coordinator here at Craig Ranch Fitness and Spa. I am also a Pilates instructor here. Today we're going to go through a short snippet of a class. It's going to be about 20 to 30 minutes long, and it's Intro to Pilates. So if you've never done Pilates, you've been wanting to try Pilates, this is a great way for you to step into the space and just try it out and just see if this is something that you might be interested in. Keep in mind, today's class, we're going to go over sort of the how and the why and what is it that we are trying to accomplish. What are these benefits that we can get out of Pilates, and how do we properly do this, especially right now while many of us are still at home. So we're going to go over some of the principles of Pilates, which are, again, a how and the why. And then from here, we are releasing a few other virtual content videos with Pilates, and you'll see how you can apply these principles, the how and the why, to these more advanced movements. And you'll get the chance to meet some of our other wonderful instructors that we have here at Craig Ranch. So with that being said, you're going to go ahead and join me on the mat and we'll get started. And the other thing I'm thinking I might need to just let you guys know is if you do have any previous injuries, whether that be specifically with your hips or any spinal limitations, osteoporosis, osteopenia, or spinal fusions, I'm going to give a few modifications and a few extra things to think about as you move. And if those things don't apply to you, just feel free to go ahead and keep doing what you're doing. Then give you guys some things to think about as we move there, okay? So we're actually going to start standing, and you can just be in the middle of your mat or at the end of your mat, wherever's comfortable. And we're going to actually start with alignment and breathing. So breathing is the first requisite to happiness, right? So that's the first thing we do when we come into this life. That's the last thing we do when we leave. So very, very important for us to be thinking about that while we are moving so that we can do it properly and benefit our body. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see my profile. And if you have a mirror nearby and you want to look at this, you can. So in terms of alignment, that's one of the biggest things that we're looking for in Pilates, to work in proper alignment. So whenever you're standing in your standing position, you want to be able to basically stack your bones on top of each other, right? It's a little bit challenging to do without someone watching you, but if you place your hands on your hips and take a little bend of the knee or soften your knee joints, from there you can take your hips over your heels, and then you want to bring your ribs over your hips, shoulders back and ears right over those shoulders. From there you're going to press through your heels and try to stack and keep that upper torso stacked right over those hips and right over those heels. Many of us tend to be here in life, or the opposite. There's lots of different variations. We can develop these tendencies through habits or our chairs that we're sitting in, the shoes we're wearing. So in Pilates, what we're really trying to do is just assess where we're at on a daily basis, right? So ideal alignment is what we're striving for, right? And I'm going to take a step back to the edge of my mat. We're going to go through our very first movement, which is we're going to take a big inhale. You're going to stretch your arms up over your head. Try to maintain that nice alignment. As we exhale, you're going to start to roll down one vertebrae at a time, meaning you're just going to tip your chin to your chest. Think of pulling your ribs in and back to round your upper back gently. And then you're going to actually take this all the way down. Think of your arms as heavy, and you're still engaging from your center. And you're just going to go down to where you can almost touch the floor. Some of us may not be quite here yet, and that's all right. You can soften your knees to just feel that nice opening across the upper back. From here, we're going to roll up, and you want to start from pressing into your heels, curving your pelvis under, initiating from your abdominals, and rolling up, keeping your neck and your shoulders soft. And then here's our practice. We're going to stack the bones as we roll up, right? Then we're going to go again 2 more times, nice and easy. Big inhale, lifting the arms up. Exhaling to soften. So there's that breathing already. Another principle of Pilates is relaxation. And basically, in Pilates world, what that means is learning to be efficient with our movement. So it's not that we're sitting on the beach and hanging out and just totally relaxing. So you're going to curl your tailbone under, roll yourself up. It's that we're learning how to release the tension that we don't need, right? So stacking the bones up so my frontal part, my chest should be nice and soft. Let's just do one more together. Big inhale, lifting up. You should start to feel a little bit warm here because we are using our abdominals and our core as we roll down. Gently rolling down. And this is a great assessment as well. If you've never done this before, this is a great little check-in to see, okay, where am I tight today? We always encourage the mind to be active during Pilates, but active with what we're doing, right? So here you are. Okay, from here we're gonna go a little bit deeper into the breathing because now you just experienced that breath with the movement. I want you to have your hands, you're gonna take them onto your rib cage, and you can do this standing. If it feels a little bit too much to stand, you can also sit down. But you wanna try to wrap your heel of the hand around the sides of the ribs, and then the fingers are gonna go together at the front like this, okay? And from here, all I want you to do is take an inhale. As you inhale, you wanna think of pressing your ribs into the heel of your hand and opening your rib cage. This is called lateral breathing. On that exhale, you wanna just think of softening your ribs in and drawing them in as if maybe someone was tying you into a corset, right? And then we take a big inhale, open the ribs, and a big exhale, closing the ribs. Let's just do two more. Big inhale, if you can, for about 3 counts. And a big exhale, 2, 3. One more time. Big inhale. So trying to prevent our breath from coming from right here, like that, and opening. We want to really go side and in, yeah? So that's one element of the style of breathing that we use in Pilates. It's a very common one, especially since our goal is to initiate the core and everything. And once we add those more advanced movements, we want to be able to understand what that inhale and exhale looks and feels like. So if that was interesting for you, or if that even helped you to come into a little bit more calm space, then that's a great warm-up even before you start lifting on the gym floor or before you start your run for the day. So we've done breathing, we've done our roll down. Let's go ahead and come onto the mat and do a little bit more together. Another key thing in Pilates is concentration and centering. So we just did a lot of that. Your breath and that mind-body connection we were talking about encourages your concentration. So you're thinking about what you're doing. You're gonna take your feet about hip width apart, hands are behind the thighs. We're gonna just gently roll down to lay flat on your mat, okay? And this position here, we're gonna talk a little bit today about where we're supposed to be. Many questions come about, should my low back be lifted off the mat? Should I be pushing my low back into the mat? Well, each instructor that we have here might have a different philosophy on exactly what that should be because they're gonna be working with you. I may not get the chance to work with you. So, and we can't see each other right now. So while you're here, what you wanna do is actually feel the back of your sacrum gently pressing into the mat. Your rib cage, the back of the rib cage, gently pressing into the mat so that your spine is essentially in neutral, okay? You can take your hands, heel of the hand to your hip bones, your fingertips to the pubis bone at the center of your pelvis. And then if you want to just peek up and look, you can see right here for yourself if your pelvis is in neutral or not. If it is not in neutral, typically the fingertips, you can see I've tucked my back, my fingertips will be higher than my heel of the hand. If it's the other way, then my fingertips will be lower than the heel of my hand. So I want to be in that place right in between. In Pilates, we talk about having maybe a hot cup of tea right there or a bowl of soup. You want to imagine that that water is not going to splash around ever when we're doing ab work, which is pretty challenging. So there's that concentration thing again, right? So we're going to have our hands here. This is a series very common and a warm-up for Pilates. It's called marches. So our goal here is to initiate, get that breathing working together with the core while we stabilize our pelvis and lift our legs to march. So I'm going to hold my hands here still to make sure that I'm not shifting my hips. I'm going to take an inhale. As I exhale, I'm gonna draw my ribs in. I'm gonna lift my leg up to tabletop, knee right over your hip bone, and then you're gonna lower it down with control. Then we're gonna do the other side. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. And again, exhale to lift. Inhale, lower. And exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Good. Let's do one more set each way. Exhale, lifting. Inhale, lowering. Last one on the left. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Good. So hopefully you can feel how it's a little challenging, right, to not move your hips. Many of us tend to, when we move our legs, we move our pelvis, and in turn that moves our low back. Then we're not actually using our core, we're overworking our hip flexors. So that is the reason why we are trying to concentrate on stabilizing this, so you can work your core. So moving on, a little step up here. You're gonna go right foot lifts up to tabletop, keep your pelvis neutral, lift your left leg up. Right away, if you're neutral, this should feel like core work because you're stabilizing your pelvis and your back, and you're holding your legs up with your center, okay? We're gonna just hold our legs here, and I'm gonna have you just do a little arm work. So you're gonna lift your arms up. You're gonna exhale, think of opening your chest as you lower the arms down and just gently press them down. Think of pushing against like water as if you're in the swimming pool, right? Inhale, resist, lift the arms up. The whole time you wanna make sure that these knees are right over your hips. Don't let them fall forward. Don't let them move around like this. So you're just going down with your arms and up. Long spine. Exhale. Down. Inhale, up. Good. 3 more times. And you'll see this series again when we go into our 100. When we go onto the reformer, there's a series with your arms and straps, so you can see that this will be repeated throughout. Okay, now hold the arms up for me. If this feels like too much on the low back, you can put your feet down, okay? Otherwise, we're gonna stay here. We're gonna take our hands behind the head, and we're gonna do some ab curls. So remember that nice breath that we worked on at the beginning. You're gonna take that inhale. As you exhale, you're gonna pull your ribs in towards your center, tip your chin towards your chest, and hover. I want you to hold this first one because I want you to think about pressing your head lightly into your hands so you don't feel your neck, and then pulling a little bit more up from your ribs, closing off the space. Then we're gonna roll down, and you can press your head lightly into your hands again. So you shouldn't feel any neck or low back here. If you feel the neck, chances are you're probably pulling on your neck like this, which is not very nice, right? So you want to really think of starting that ab curl from your ribs and your core. So inhaling, we're going to do 5 more. Exhale, wrap those ribs, curl yourself in. Inhale to roll down. 4 more. Exhale. Trying to get those shoulder blades off the mat. Good. 2 more times. When you're here, you also don't want to crunch your neck. We're going to leave about a golf ball size there. Okay, 1 more. And you're going to hold it. Okay, again, if it's too much with the legs up, just lower the feet down. You're going to reach your arms straight, lower them down. Here we go for that Pilates 100. So we're breathing in as we pulse the arms. 4, 5. You exhale. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, wrap. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, good. And you can add on to this. If this feels challenging, stay here. If you would like, you can straighten your legs up to the ceiling, flex your feet. And try to keep reaching your fingers and arms straight for whoever or whatever is in front of you. Good. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, great. And if that still feels good and you want to challenge more, you're going to lower your legs, squeeze your glutes, draw them together. Pulling this in, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale. And a little bit lower, squeeze, wrap. Good, last set, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bringing your knees into your chest, you're going to lower your head down. and rest. So hopefully everybody felt a little something there. And I just wanted to show you that progression because there's always more we can add to challenge ourselves, right? So big inhale. What we're going to do from here, you're going to bring your knees into your chest and you're going to rock yourself into seated. And then we're going to do our Pilates roll down. So we did a roll down standing. That is a prep for this. So we're going to do this way. If you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, I do not recommend doing this unless you have some sort of support. You can take a hand towel and roll that up. If you come in to work with us, we can show you those modifications. But for today, you want to bend your knees and you're going to not go all the way back. You're going to go halfway back. The rest of us are going to straighten our legs out. You want to sit right up on top of your sit bones. Here's our posture check again, right? And if you're tight, you can bend your knees so that you still have the ability to work that posture. So from here, you're going to press your legs straight, scoop the belly in and back, and you're going to roll down one vertebrae at a time and really try to isolate your spine all the way down. And then you're going to take a big inhale, lift your arms back, but don't go all the way back today since we're new to this. We want to watch that we don't splay our ribs, arch our back, and lift our shoulders. You want to keep these guys knitted in and connected, right? And then from here, you're going to come up. As you come up, you're going to go through that ab curl. So we take an inhale, we exhale, pull your ribs in, and you're going to really keep reaching forward, rounding your back. Once you find your sit bones, those two bony landmarks under your pelvis, you're going to use that to help you find your nice tall alignment. So now we're not standing, we don't have our feet to check that alignment, so you have your feet of your pelvis, which are those two bony landmarks if you rock back and forth. Okay, we're going to do a few more. So you're going to push your feet forward. So my legs are engaged, but I'm not squeezing my quads, I'm really reaching that way to encourage my abdominal connection. I'm rolling down, 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 down. Big inhale, lifting the arms up, watching that the ribs don't splay. Exhale, here we go. Squeeze those shoulder blades, scoop those abs. Rising up, good. And let's do one more time together, down. And reach. And up. And then we'll stretch and sit tall. Very nice, okay. From there, we're gonna go into a little bit of leg work. So we can work our hip joints, start to warm that up. So we're gonna roll back down. You'll find that the roll down is often the transition for other things in class. So from here, we're gonna bring that right knee into your chest and just gently take a nice stretch. And you're just pulling that in. You wanna try, if you can, to keep that hip square and being nice and flat there, okay? From there, you're gonna stretch your legs straight, and it doesn't have to be high. You can be lower. You wanna go where it's straight. So for me, if I was really tight, I would go about here, okay? The goal is not the leg work, it's hip work and core work. So hands are down on the sides of your mat, so you can push your hands into the mat to stabilize your center. And then for me, I'm gonna lift my leg a little higher. I'm gonna flex that opposite leg to ground it down, okay? We're gonna take an inhale, you're gonna cross the leg over your center line, then a big exhale, come around and up to hold. We go inhale, reach, exhale, come around to hold. So I'm gonna do one more with good form. And I'm gonna show you what's the tendency to happen. This happens a lot. Woo, right? So we're out of control there, right? Our control comes from our center and our concentration. So when you go over, you are making sure that hip isn't lifting like that for today. Okay, over, and then you're gonna pull your tummy in. Big exhale to lift that leg. The exhale encourages that core connection. So we're gonna do two more. Keep that leg straight, one more. Good, and then we gotta go the other way. If you need a break, just bend the knee to release. Let's Let's do the other side. So you're gonna go out to the side, around and up. And today, I'm not doing these very big. If this is even too big for you, you can go smaller, about the size of a dinner plate. Inhale, exhale. Reaching that heel away. And one more. Good. And then bend the knee in. Okay. So hopefully everybody tried that side. We're going to do the other side. And then what I want you to think about on this side is, am I feeling a lot of hip? If you're feeling a lot of hip, it might be because you're new and you just haven't done this type of stuff before, right? So we're going to straighten the leg first. Lower it to where you can get that leg straight. Now, if this feels like a lot of hip, you can just soften your knee a little bit. And from there, that will help you not work so hard in the hip flexors. Okay, we want to prioritize this. So let's do the same thing. I'm going to keep my knee bent on this side. So I'm going to go across it over the center. Exhale around. You can point or flex your foot. Today doesn't really matter. There's no right or wrong in terms of pointing and flexing. Just depends on what your teacher, your instructor is looking for with that, right? One more time. And then let's reverse it. We go around, down, up. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Keep that pelvis stable. 2. One more. Good. And then we'll bring that knee into the chest and let's take that stretch on this foot. Reaching that other leg long. Very nice. Okay, and then we're going to bring the other leg in. Let's come up to seated again. So we're going to rock, roll up to seated. So we already have those abs in. Do a little prep for our rolling like a ball. I'm not going to teach the full series just because I'm not there with you guys and I don't know you, whoever's watching. Maybe I do know some of you, but I'm not there to see and know what your situation is with your back, so we're going to be careful. So we're going to find your sit bones, bring your knees in, heels together, toes apart. You're going to wrap your hands around your shins. From there, you're going to lift your feet off the floor and try to balance on your sit bones. In this position, everybody tends to be here, right? Slouching. So I still want you to search for that lift up out of the low back, pulling in. So I am holding my legs with my arms. If this feels icky, you can also hold behind your thighs, like so, okay? Heels together for our centering. So we encourage the core, okay? From here, all we're doing is you're going to scoop your pelvis back, look for your heels, and rock your pelvis back a little bit. So make a C. Then you're going to press through your sit bones, try to rise up, sit tall. This should feel pretty challenging to do. You're gonna exhale, pull your pelvis back, almost as if you're gonna roll backwards, but we're not. Squeeze the heels, lift the chest at the top. We're gonna do 3 more. Big exhale. Pulling your center in. Inhale to rise up. Out of that low back. I'm pretty tight today, so I'm making taking note of that. Good, one more time. Exhale to curl. Inhale to rock up, okay. And then you can put your feet down. I'm gonna show you where that goes to so you see it visually, and then one day we will all learn it together. So heels are up. So eventually that rock takes you back into rolling like a ball. You're gonna curl, rock to the tips of the shoulder blades, and then hold your balance without putting your heels down at the top. I'll do one more just so you see. You're curving, and then you're lifting up. So you can see how if you have any low back stuff, obviously that's not gonna be very nice on that back. So we would, in class, just do that little rock back, and it's just as challenging, trust me. So we're gonna do a little stretch here next. Take your feet about as wide as your hip bones. Okay, it's called spine stretch forward, and I want to go over this one because this is one that's often not done correctly, and I want you to remember the principles here because it's going to help you do it correctly, even when your teacher's not right there on you, right? So our hands are in front of us. You're going to draw those shoulders back. Right here, you should be in your perfect aligned posture. So if you need to bend the knees, then you bend the knees. Another option is you can roll the back of the mat up a couple of times. And you can sit right on top of that roll, and that will kind of lift you up off the floor so you can straighten your legs, not be so tight here. I'm gonna keep this here today because, like I said, I'm a little tight. So wanna flex the feet, okay? So you're pulling your toes back, hands are here. From here, we're going to, again, soften that chin to chest. You wanna round your upper back first, so you're pulling your abdominals in and back. Then you're going to stretch your hands forward over your toes. When you're going there, you are trying to stretch out your spine because it's called spine stretch, right? So what I don't want to do is hinge my hips. And that looks like this. See how I'm hinging here? You don't want to hinge. You actually want to curve back and reach forward. So it's almost like I'm pushing from my hands and my feet and pulling back to stretch here. From there, I roll up. And I sit tall again. Yeah? Then we're gonna do a few more. Keep those heel spots. Exhale. Rounding, reaching forward. Rolling back up. And exhale, soften. Focusing on stretching the spine. And good job, one more time. Exhaling forward. And rolling up to sit tall. Good. Okay. Then from here, I want to do one more stretch series with you. You're going to take your heels as wide as your mat that you're sitting on. Same position. This time we're going to add some rotation. So again, if you have osteoporosis, osteopenia, you don't want to take this too far in range. You want to go to a comfortable stretch for your body. Do not force any rotation here. So from here, you're sitting tall, arms open out to the side. You're going to twist to one side. You're going to reach the opposite hand toward that foot. It's called saw. You're imagining that your front arm is a saw. So you're going to round your back gently and reach forward. Saw 1, 2, and you're going to roll up, find that posture check in the middle again. Then we twist. So I'm rotating my thoracic spine, trying to keep my hips there. And then I reach forward, saw 1, saw 2, and roll up, sit tall. We go. Exhale. And up. And we go. Twist. Saw 1 and 2. And repeater flex. And again, twist. Reach. 1. So there's a little more flow in this one. Twist. And reach. And I'm rounding my back so I can get that nice sling stretch all the way through my back line. 2 more. Just reach. Reach. And you can see my back arm, my thumb is down, the front arm, the pinky's down. Let's just do last set here. We go twist, thumb down, and I'm looking for that back hand to encourage that curve. Twist, stretch, and back up. Good job. And then we'll rest there. Very nice. Okay, coming off of my mat here, I'm gonna go ahead and turn over onto hands and knees. So quadruped position, all fours. From here, we want to be hands right underneath the shoulders, knees right underneath the hips. We're going to try to find and replicate that neutral spine that we talked about a lot before we begin to move on the mat. So that is what we're looking for here, okay? And then we're going to go from there into 2 extremes, our cat-cow stretch. Many know this one. You're going to exhale. Think of drawing your abdominals in and up, pushing away from the mat. You're going to round your back. So another key part of Pilates is balanced muscle development. You're going to inhale, open the chest, and it's also rhythm and flow. So we're going to exhale, flowing through this spinal mobility, rounding your back. Inhale to open the chest and pull through. So when I'm coming through, I'm focused more on my upper back, not dropping into here, right? It's more about my upper back. Then one more time, exhale to curl. And inhale to arch. Okay, from there, coming back into neutral spine. Okay, this is just a little sneak peek of what's possible. So again, with everything we do for the most part, trying to hold that neutral spine. You're gonna take a big inhale. As you exhale, you're gonna reach your right arm forward on the mat, and I want you to lift that arm up. And just feel where you shift. typically people will shift to the opposite side. From here, you really want to push down into that arm, that supporting arm, and pull your center in. Make sure you're using your legs as well. Then you lower that arm down. Try not to shift your weight. Same thing, other side. Just do a little check-in. Reaching your fingers, lifting your arm, lowering it down. Good. Let's do one more each way for the arms. Reaching the arm forward, shoulder blade down the back, tummy in, lift. And lower. Last time on that left side. Reaching the fingers forward, shoulder blade down the back, long spine, and coming down. Good. And if you need to sit back to your heels, you can do a little child's pose stretch. Open up that low back. And then coming back up. And then let's do a little bit of the legs. So this is just simple today. Lots of things you can add on to. But you're going to hold that spine nice and neutral again. Want to start with one leg. You're going to reach one leg back. And then you want to try to square your hips forward. Okay? And you want to feel, again, that length through this hip while you're not shifting to one side or the other. Okay, we're going to flex the back heel. It's my left leg, maybe your right. We're going to lift and try to reach it, that heel up to the sky and keep elongating the hip without sitting in the other one or opening, right? So you're keeping it square. Then lower it down. And let's just do 5 lift and lowers. Exhale, use your center and your glutes to lift the leg, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. And again, lift and lower and lift. Here we go, last one. See if you can hold it. Stay there, breathe. Eventually, not maybe today, eventually we check in, we try reaching the arm and the leg, right? Eventually. This one is it. Lower that knee down and rest. Let's do the other side. Little check-in. Here we go. Shoulder blades down. You're going to reach the opposite like that. And this side may be totally different, so make sure you're squaring that hip off. Shoulders are still square. Exhale, reaching the heel. Lifting the leg. Squeezing the glutes, but stretching the hips still. Lower the leg down. Exhale. Lifting that leg. And lowering. And another thing we're trying to avoid is the low back arching like this. So really trying to just isolate the leg and stabilize the core. The core is a stabilizer. Your abdominals they can assist with that, but they're not really part of the stabilizing. So now last one, hold, stay there. See if you can reach it a little bit longer. Good, and if you want to do a little check-in like I did on the other side, reach that left hand forward, a little bit lift, lower, and come down. And we'll stretch it out one more time. So knees can open here if this feels uncomfortable. You're going to just stretch back. You want to think of dropping your tailbone down toward the floor, rounding your back. Good, and then rolling up. And so some may ask, well, what's the point of that exercise? And yes, it's what I just said, stabilization of the core while we move other parts of the body. But that is a great preparation. If you've been working on your planks, if you've been trying to do any upper body work, whether it's on the floor, pull-ups, this is the starting point, because you've got to be strong in your stabilizers and your core to be able to do any of that stuff. You could have all the strength in the world in your arms, but if you don't know how to activate your core, you can't pull your whole body up, right? So just think like that. This type of stuff, it's also, if that might not be related to you. You might have low back pain. Well, if you are walking around and you're constantly moving your pelvis, then that can contribute to your low back pain. There's several different things that could be going on, but stabilizing your core will always help. So just think of it that way. Okay, from here, let's go ahead. We're gonna do one last thing. So we were in our quadruped. Let's tuck our toes under. We're gonna pop our hips up carefully to a downward dog just to stretch it out, okay? And you're gonna reach your arms long. You wanna think of pressing your hips back over your heels. Just stretch out your hamstrings and your calves. Good, and let's just go for a little run here. So you're gonna drop one heel down and the other foot is popped, and then you're just gonna change. And we'll just go for 8 counts, nice and slow. Stabilizing your center still here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 more. Good, and then let's lift those heels up high, both of them at the same time. Drop the heels down, press your energy back in towards your sit bones. And then from there, here's a challenge. We're gonna walk our hands back for 3 counts. So you've gotta use your abdominals. You're gonna walk yourself back for 3, 2, 1. Bend your knees if you need to. Leave your head heavy. And we're gonna finish with a nice easy roll up. Good, and again, check in right here. Stack those bones, right? If you're not sure where you are, just bend your knees and see if you can bring your hips over the heels and extend from there. We'll take a big breath in, take a big exhale, press away, and you guys are finished. Great job today. I hope that you learned something new and that you can apply these principles to the remainder of our virtual classes that we'll post, because this really is the core of Pilates, and you just add layers from there. So hope to see you soon.